So 9.4 damping and the resonance. So what does this graph shows? In the first one, you have the amplitude stay the same, right? But here the amplitude is dissipating, getting smaller and smaller, and is damping. We call this one a damp frequency. Now, damping is a reduction in amplitude of a wave as a result of energy absorption or destructive interference. What is happening actually in the reality? So when the damping happens, when you hear a noise, it gets quieter and quieter as it travels forward and forward, right? Like why cars have shocks attached to their tires and car because of they wanted to have a damping frequencies, right? Do not make a loud noise. Here is type of the damps. See, look at this. This the red one. It's just nicely going. Is the amplitude getting smaller and smaller? We call this red one underdamped. If you look at um, the purple one, is going to be a strong damp. It's kind of sharply going down, actually. The green one, we call it critically damped. And the blue one, of course, is undamped, right? Nothing happened to the amplitude. It's just doing it. Now, some objects tend to vibrate much easier at certain frequency known as resonance frequency. When the resonance frequency is met for an object, resonance occurs. So let's just watch this.
You sent in a proposal, but your manager has so many questions.
Shockwaves from a punch can do damage to the human body. Now we're going to time warp at 10,000 frames per second to see how sound waves destroy glass. Jamie Vendera is famous for using the sound of his voice to destroy wine glasses. They seem to simply explode. But what's happening?
I know the sound waves broke the glass, but I couldn't see how. So I'm going to use our slow motion camera to see what we were missing. Instead of singing, I'm going to use a speaker and a tone generator. I have to find the natural vibrating frequency of the glass. I have to match this tone. That's it.
This is the exact tone to make this particular glass vibrate. When the tone is loud enough, the glass will shatter.
I can feel the glass shaking, but I can't see it. If I add a straw, then it's more obvious.
So what's happening here? The straw gets tossed side to side, but I can't see why.
Let's record it while I crank the volume. I took 10,000 frames per second, and I took 1 second. If I were to play back this whole video, it would take 8 minutes to get through.
Oh, this is amazing. What felt like the whole goblet vibrating is actually the rim bending back and forth, 337 times a second, the same rate as the sound waves. If I draw in the sound waves, you can see what's happening. One wave comes out of the speaker and pushes the side of the wine glass. The glass bounces back just when another sound wave pushes it again. If the timing or frequency of the sound waves is exactly right, the motion will build until the glass breaks.
Wow. So, as we would expect, the speaker breaks the glass nearest to it. And immediately we see a crack that goes all the way around the whole bottom of the frame. I'm going to play that back again. This is where the initial fracture happens, right nearby the speaker. And in about 3 frames, and this is 3/10,000ths of a second, we see this crack go along the bottom where the glass gets thicker and come right back up to the top where it's thin. So if we follow that a little more, this piece has just fallen off, but it doesn't in some sense even know that it's fallen off from the rest of the glass. All of the glass was shaking at about 300 hertz, 300 vibrations per second. And this piece is still doing that. You can see the corners of the glass still flexing as if they were influenced by the speaker, but the speaker is way too far away now to have that influence on this piece. It just has the leftover inertia. And we see that in all the pieces here, even along the top edge of this glass. This piece of glass is not resonant at that frequency anymore, so it can't get energy from the speaker, and all that we see shaking is the leftover energy from what the speaker gave it in order for it to break.
So, if you thought that glass couldn't bend, think again. Time warping changes the way we see the world because it makes the invisible visible.
You sent in a proposal, but your manager has so many questions.
Hmm. So that was resonance. So when they just put the vibration, if it's resonating with the resonance of the vibration of the glass, so it become bigger and bigger until it make it breaks, right? So that was a nice demonstration of the resonance frequency. When the resonance frequency is met for an object, resonance occurs. Now, to find the resonance frequency, shape, and composition play a huge role, of course. The composition of a glass and its shapes needed to be determined this. So, which is mathematically, of course, is difficult and is not, we're not going to do that, right? So, and why this is dangerous? So many phenomena that, let's say, the engineers want to build a bridge. If they do not consider those resonance frequency, when the wind come and trying to, the wind comes in a constant frequency, it might create a resonance in a bridge and cause the bridge to collapse. So let's just watch this. Okay, let's
As you can see, this bridge was exceptionally long and narrow, over half a mile long, only 39 feet wide. It lasted just 4 months. During construction, we see the steel girders, 8 feet tall, which were supposed to stiffen the bridge against bending. However, some up and down vibration was observed during the entire useful life of the bridge. Here's opening day. On November 7th, the bridge suddenly went into a twisting motion. The wind speed was a steady 42 miles per hour. This was enough to keep the bridge oscillating in one of its natural modes of vibration with a period of 5 seconds. A professor of engineering went out to see what had happened. He's coming back, walking with some difficulty along the nodal line, which is the center stripe of the roadway. It's remarkable that the girders were this flexible. This is photographed at normal speed. However, a collapse was inevitable after a little more than an hour of this. The car had been abandoned earlier. No one was injured in the whole affair. However, a small dog in the car was frightened and was afraid to come out, and he perished along with the bridge. The bridge was rebuilt using a stiffening truss instead of girders. The new bridge is completely stable.
Okay. So that's why it's danger not taking account those resonance frequency when you're an engineer and trying to build something like bridge or anything else, considering those natural things to account, it will be catastrophic, right? So it's really serious. Now, mechanical resonance is the transfer of energy from one object to another, causing a large amplitude vibration when the second object has the same resonance frequency as first. In the case of this bridge, the wind subject to bridge to energy, right? The wind giving the energy to bridge and causing it to oscillate, and a mechanical resonance causing it to crash. Now let's just see what it is.
Here's why I stopped shopping on Amazon, and you should too. Don't spend another dime on Amazon until you watch this first.
Watch this. I can show you.
Hey Locker Dome, I'm Grady Phelan, inventor of the ProXR ergonomic bat technology. Today I'm going to show you how to find the exact sweet spot on a wood bat, and then how to use that sweet spot to dial in your swing. You're going to need 4 things: your bat, a pencil to mark the sweet spot, some athletic tape, and something to tap on the barrel. I recommend using an old school bat knob. That's all they're good for these days. Start by grasping the bat by the handle about 6 inches from the end of the knob, and start tapping at the bottom, working your way up towards your hand. The less vibration you feel, the closer you are to the sweet spot. When that vibration stops, that's the sweet spot. I usually go past it and then back over it to make sure I'm dialed into it. And the sweet spot for this bat is right here. I'm going to mark that with my pencil. And now the key to it all. So that you make sure you're dialed in and hitting on that sweet spot as frequently as possible, we like to wrap the barrel of the bat all the way around with some bright athletic tape. So every time you step into the cage and you're making contact, you can see how close you're hitting to that sweet spot because it's marked with that tape. That's it. That's how you can find the sweet spot and dial in your swing. Thanks to our friends here at Locker Dome, the best place to connect with athletes, teams, and the best technology in the game.
Okay, so that's another application of resonance frequency. Another one.
Sympathetic motion. As we know that this is the rule of physics that if two objects are connected with any of any sort of medium, they have got transfer of energy. In this demonstration we can see that if we independently release that object, after some time the another one is also have the same moment, and again the moment transfer to the main object, and after that the second one. By that we can understand that motion is always synchronized, try to synchronize with the other's object, with the other object. Alternately, the motion is transferred from one object to another object. So this is the model named sympathetic motion.
That was cool. Okay, so I believe that's us for this slide. I'm gonna stop recording.